Hello and welcome to another Miss Alley Cat DIY video. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video. I am so excited. I have a couple fall DIYs to show you. So go ahead, grab your nice cozy beverage. I'm drinking some cozy coffee and let's get into these DIYs. For this DIY, we're going to use this fall sign. It was in Dollar Tree's fall section. I'm also using these chalkboard tag clothespins. I'm also using this gutter guard. This was given to me, so that's why I'm using it for this DIY. But you can also use chicken wire or any kind of like metal or plastic that has the same kind of pattern. Here is an up-close look at the gutter guard, but I will put in the description box below a couple different options. First things first, we're just going to take our sign apart. You can cut this, or all I'm doing is just sticking the little plastic part through the hole, and then it just comes right off. And then go ahead and set that center part aside, and we'll be using that in another DIY shortly. But yeah, so that is the first step. So now all I'm doing is I'm taking that gutter guard and I'm going to cut a piece so that I can glue it to the back side of our pumpkin frame. Now, ideally, I wanted this material to cover the whole inside of my pumpkin frame, but mine was just a little too skinny to do so, so I will be cutting two pieces of this material. If you have a material that is wide enough, that's perfect. I just didn't. Once again, I'm just using what I had on hand, so I will show you what to do if your material is not quite wide enough. And so like I said, I cut two pieces so that I could make it fit inside of my pumpkin frame. So now I'm taking my gutter guard and I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue that to the back side of my frame. And I am using some finger protectors. Dollar Tree actually has those right now, side note, so that I don't burn my fingers because I'm pressing down the hot glue. You can also use E6000, I suppose, if you wanted it to be really heavy duty, but I'm just using hot glue, and I'm going to go ahead and glue down that whole piece. I do want to say, in retrospect, I would have cut the gutter guard so that it didn't go over the outside of my frame. Where the arrow is pointing right now, you see I'm going to have to cut that piece off, and that was a little tricky. Not horrible, but a little tricky. So I wish I had cut it so that I didn't have to cut that later on. Just a side note. Also, once you move to the other side of the frame and start hot gluing, be sure to pull the gutter guard or whatever you're using fairly tight. You don't want to yank it out or pull it too tight, but you do want no bubbles to be in there, and of course hot glue all the sides and the top as well. So now to fill in this little gap, I'm just cutting a strip of the gutter guard to fill in that gap. Alright, so here's what to do if you cut your gutter guard or whatever you're using past the outside of your frame. So basically, my material is a plastic, so I'm having to just bend it backwards, and then I just cut it with my scissors. Not too horribly hard to do, but I definitely would recommend already cutting it in the beginning so it didn't go past the frame. And I did this for the whole entire pumpkin shape. Now I'm just taking some popsicle sticks to cover up that part where you can tell that we used two pieces of gutter guard. So I did cut both of the popsicle sticks that are on the end at an angle so that it fit in that place, and you can take a pencil and kind of draw the angle and then just cut it with your scissors. It took me 3 popsicle sticks for the top, and I did cut off the rounded edges on all of the popsicle sticks, as you can see in the video. So I did do another layer of these popsicle sticks. I did another row rather on the top just so that it looked, I thought, a little more uniform. You totally can skip that, completely up to you. So if you're wondering why the bottom layer is black, it's because I used this furniture scratch marker in the color black. Quite honestly, I think a Sharpie would do the same thing. But anywho, I did go ahead and stain those popsicle sticks, paint them, whatever you want to call it. And after I did that, all I'm doing is I'm taking my hot glue and simply gluing them down where I want them. I'm gluing that bottom layer over top of that seam so that we can't tell that I used two pieces. And I did that to both the top and the bottom rows of popsicle sticks. So here is what we're left with. I think it's super cute, and let me show you what I do to make it even cuter. So now all I'm doing is I'm taking one of those chalkboard signs and I'm removing one of it's like a medium-sized clothespin hook. Just took a little bit of force, and now I'm taking an ornament hook, and all I'm gonna do is bend it so that we can have like a smaller hook that will fit on our fit through our little holes of the pumpkin organizer. So I just bent it over. You want one side to be more on the flat side, and then the other I just made a smaller hook. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and glue this to the back of our chalkboard sign. And I tried to make the hook as small as I could so that you wouldn't see it. As mentioned, I'm just gluing down that hook. I'm just using hot glue, and you can go ahead and put the flat side of the hook into the glue, let it dry, and then you can bend the hook whichever direction you need so that it can hang on your pumpkin organizer. Another option is to hot glue one of the teeny tiny little clips that you can get at the Dollar Tree. However, I found that these broke really easily. They bent very easily. So for everyday use, in my opinion, I think they'd probably break off. So that's why I made these instead with the ornament hooks. So here's the finished DIY. You can use it to hang your favorite earrings or any kind of jewelry that has a hook on it. You can also use it to hang little cute notes using these little chalkboard signs that we made. I think it's super cute and super festive and it's just really fun for the fall season, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I saw something like this at Big Lots, and so I'm really excited that I was able to recreate it for a fraction of the cost. Of course, we're not going to throw away the inside of that Dollar Tree sign. Let me show you how I make this adorable Hello Fall sign using that Dollar Tree sign. So all I'm doing is I'm taking this sanding block and I'm just going to go ahead and sand off all of the glitter on the outside edge, outside rim of this sign. Looking back, I wouldn't necessarily have to do this because we will be putting some rope around the rim, but I do still think the glitter would peek through, so I'm happy that I did that, but you totally don't have to. I also took the sandpaper very carefully to the words Hello Fall, making sure to not really scuff up the sign too much. And then I did go in with a razor blade just to kind of get that glitter off as much as I could. Now I didn't get all of the glitter off, but I did get a significant amount just to make it a little bit more farmhouse looking. Once I got off as much glitter as I could, I'm going in with this paint pen, and it's just a brown paint pen, and I'm filling in the words Hello Fall. I think it just gives it more of a muted, more of a farmhouse vibe, and less sparkly. Don't get me wrong, I love sparkle, but I just wanted it more farmhouse for this look. So now I'm just going to be using this twine and some hot glue, and we're going to form a border all the way around this sign. So with my hot glue, I am starting at the bottom of the sign. Now it really doesn't matter where you start, but that's just what I did. And I am hot gluing this twine kind of like where the outer rim of the glitter would have been. I hope that makes sense, but you can see where I put it in the video. Not all the way up to the edge of the sign, but like a quarter of an inch away. And I did end up doing a whole row around the whole entire sign, and then I just glued that rope so that you couldn't see the end of it. I did end up going around the sign with this twine about 4 or 5 times. I liked the look of more rope without having a big, huge, thick rope, if that makes sense. You can also use whatever kind of rope you want. I took some more of that twine at the very top of our sign and did just like 3 or 4 inch pieces a couple of times and hot glued it so that you could not see the hole that was in the sign. Totally optional, but I think it makes it a little bit more high end just because you can't see that hole. And then I just kind of tucked it into the other rope so you can't tell that I didn't do a whole row around with those pieces of rope. So now to make some cute little additions for our sign. So I'm using Dollar Tree's DIY wood stickers. I'm not sure how many come in a pack, but I'm using 3 pumpkins. And all I'm doing is I painted the stems brown with a brown paint pen, and I'm going in with a green paint pen and painting the leaves. And of course, I took an orange paint pen to fill in the rest of the pumpkins so they look like a real pumpkin. Now working with these chalkboard wooden stakes, of course from your local Dollar Tree. We're going to use one of these for this project. So first all I did was I took a pencil and wrote out pumpkins 50 cents. You can totally customize this and write whatever you would like on there, but I just thought that was perfect. And I'm taking a white paint pen and just going over that. You totally could skip the pencil part, but I thought it made it a little easier, at least for me, to write it better. Because as you can tell, my writing is not perfect, but I think it turned out pretty cute. To make it look a little bit more like it matched the sign, I went in with that orange paint pen and I'm just doing a border all around this little miniature sign. But yet that wasn't enough, so I had to take this brown paint pen and I just thought it was really cute to put it on like the stake part of this sign. Jumping back to the pumpkins that we just painted, I just figured out where I wanted to place them on my sign. Once I figured out where I wanted my pumpkins to be, I'm just putting them on the back of this pickup truck. I think it's so adorable. I just love it. I've wanted to do something like this for a while. So yeah, that's what I did. Now the first pumpkin, they all have like a little stickum on the back. So the very first one I was able to just stick down there, but I knew the other ones wouldn't stay very well without some hot glue. So that's what I did. I just glued them down, and I do glue it a little bit to the first one that's there, just so that everything stays in place. Now, just taking a pencil, as you can see, I have like an example of what I'm going to do on another pumpkin. So I'm just taking a pencil and I drew 2 like curves in the center of the pumpkin and then 2 a little bit further out than that, like you can see in the video. And I also wanted to define the stem a little bit more and leaves, so I brought the stem down and I did fill it in with the pencil, but then later on you'll see me use the paint pen once again. So I'm just outlining the leaves and bringing them down as well to give it some more dimension and character. And of course I did this to all of my pumpkins. Now I'm just taking that brown paint pen and I'm filling in the stems, just bringing them down a little bit. I also did the same thing with the green paint pen for the leaves. just once again to give it some more dimension and character. Now taking that really cute little sign that we made, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue it to the sign. I'm putting it at the back of the truck. I really liked this placement, but you could put it wherever you wanted on your sign. So this is the end of this DIY. I absolutely love it. I hope you do too. I think it's so farmhouse, and I just love it next to this blanket that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I also paired it with some pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, of course, and it's all sitting in this cute little wagon that my grandpa made for me when I was a kid. So thank you so much for watching and taking the time out of your day to do so. It means so much. I hope you're having a wonderfully perfect day. If you did enjoy this video, please feel free to pounce on that like button and hit subscribe. It really does mean so much. And until next time, this is Miss Alley Cat DIY. Bye-bye!